Like prime example, a friend of mine that I was talking to that lives in the Miami area, you know, how she handled herself with me when I addressed that, she couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. She couldn't handle it. But at the end of the day, it's the truth, period. So regardless of how I address it, as long as I don't put everybody in our business, if I bring that situation to light, if I address on things like that, or if I talk about something of that nature to be able to express where I'm coming from, because that person doesn't want to listen where I'm coming from, then at the end of the day, don't be mad and don't take it personal because you still committed those actions. So regardless if I tell one person or if I tell 6,000 people, you're still responsible for how you handled me. You're still responsible for how you treated me. And so she couldn't handle me telling her that. And so now we're not talking, you know? So I had all of these plans to go to Miami for my birthday, to hang out and blah, 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 blah. And now we're not talking. So she was like, are you going to cancel plans? I was like, no, because I know like 6 other people in Miami. So I'm going to just call one of them and we're going to hang out. And she
Yeah.
was really, really, really upset over that. And I was like, at the end of the day, this is what you got to realize. If you care about me talking to other people, then you have to commit to me if that's what we want to do. But if you're not trying to commit to me, then don't be mad if I expand who I interact with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you don't own me. You're not
No.
leasing me. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think some people just get all in a, you know, in their undies and get all mad and they'll be all right. I could care less, really. So they'll be all right.
No, it's true because the thing is, um, it's that whole freedom of expression thing, isn't it? And also, if you know somebody who is very expressive, hi Alicia, if you know that somebody's very expressive and they express themselves in a way where it's kind of they don't mind, they're very open, why would you bother expose yourself to that person in the first place? Do you get what I mean? And then turn around to you because of the way that you're expressing yourself. It's just like me, for instance, when when I do workshops and events and things like that, most of the examples that I use are real life examples. So if I'm giving somebody an example of how I dealt with a situation, it may involve somebody else. Not that I mention their name, but that situation is obviously going to be an example of other people. Now, why would those other people get offended if or expose me to their life in that way if they know that I regularly give my life examples to a platform?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. At the end of the day, nobody wants to hear the negative about their self. Like nobody can handle what they put out. You know, there's very few people who can really truthfully accept the mistakes that they've made, process those mistakes, and genuinely try to correct them. So I made a comment on my page last week to where basically I said, you know, I don't really accept apologies. I
Mm.
don't. You know, if you're telling me you're sorry, that means absolutely nothing to me because if you were truthfully sorry, your actions would speak before your words,
Yeah.
in my opinion, you know. And then, you know, of course I got lashback from it because people are saying, oh, well, you know, some people are different. And I get that we're all different individuals, but the one thing that we do have in common, you know, is a understanding of right and wrong because we're adults, you know. So if I disrespect you or if I cheat on you or if, you know, it's a lack of me communicating or reaching out to you and we've built the bond, we've built some form of an establishment between one another, and you know, I'm really lacking on my end as the male perspective in your life, you know, I'm not necessarily putting forth the energy and the efforts. Instead of me always texting you I'm so sorry, like stop texting and start acting, start showing up, start calling, start being more present, you know. And I think people get so comfortable with just saying I'm sorry to buy more time, to where I've heard I'm sorry so much to where I don't even accept I'm sorry. It's like if you're telling me, oh, I'm so sorry, I apologize, in the back of my head I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I know that sounds rude, and maybe that's just how I deal with it, but that's only because I know when I say I'm sorry, I'm genuinely acting out at the same time. you know. So
Yeah.
if I haven't seen you in a week or two, and I know that you've been waiting to see me, instead of me texting you, I'm sorry, I'm going to show up at your doorstep and say, I'm sorry, you know,
Yeah.
and let you know that I'm genuinely sorry. I apologize about not being able to be there. Nobody does that anymore. All everybody wants to do is just say it, you know, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's not enough for me anymore. It really isn't, you know, and that's why I limit myself to people now, because the more people that I interact with, the more women that I interact with, on a more personal level, especially the ones who aren't really ready for me, you know, and that stance, they're not really ready for where I'm at and for like my understanding of life. They only are damaging me more in a certain way. And what I mean by damaging me is like they're taking away from my time of really truthfully being with somebody who I do understand and who does understand me. They're also continuously giving me bad representation of a woman, right? Because after we have, like prime example, if you go buy a car and every Honda you buy breaks down on you, eventually you're like, I'm not buying a Honda no more. You know, so if I get with a woman, and every woman that I get with, they don't understand me. It's always drama. It's always something, you know, it's this and that. Then that's bad representation of a woman. So eventually you have to slow down before you build this ideal or this concept of women and men that you start prejudging everybody off of, you know?
And
So
then it's also about taking response. For me personally, my friends know I ain't into sorry. If you say sorry to me, I'll be like, just don't say sorry. I don't think it means anything. I'm more about how can you take responsibility. So if someone phones me, say something happened, and they phone me, they need to kind of explain how they've taken responsibility for that situation, because that's how I try and come at people. I would say, do you know what? I take responsibility for the part that I played in that situation, and I do my best not to focus on the wrong that the other person done. According to how much responsibility that person takes will determine how close we're going to be after that. However, I'm still able to express that I take responsibility for the part that I played in this situation, rather than saying sorry, because to me, sorry doesn't mean that you learned anything. You're just sorry probably because I've distanced myself now from you, if it's a man relationship, or you're sorry because you can see that I'm in pain, or whatever, you know. It's more, for me personally, in a relationship, it's about taking responsibility. How much responsibility can you take to either make the relationship work or reflect on where you've gone wrong or where you could grow in terms of your personality.
mm-hmm.
You're right, Leash.
I am, but obviously because I was late, I don't know. I'm grasping what you're talking about.
We were just having a conversation. We just had a conversation, and it kind of went anywhere, kind of thing.
Okay. What was the start?
I wanted to talk about internet dating today.
Okay.
Because like I can see that people do this whole internet dating thing, and obviously me as somebody who considers myself kind of back on the market, so to speak, because I've had such a big break of just deciding that I don't want to be in a relationship and I want to form my identity, get to know me, understand what I like and what I don't like. You know, that's why I had that break. However, I can see that I'm a bit far behind in terms of how people are dating, and how the different ways that people are dating, and internet dating is coming up. Because I'm seeing that a lot of people are literally having relationships via the internet now. To me, obviously it's something new. Maybe I'm old school. You can cuss me and call me old school if you like, I don't mind. But I'm very much into, when it comes to relationships, it's about the emotional balance and, well, emotional intimacy and the physical intimacy. For me, if one of them's taken away, then we're not in a relationship, end of. However, I'm seeing that people are literally having relationships via the internet to the point where they're ending these relationships and saying that they were in a relationship with the person. And in some cases, they've never even met this person. Now, I don't get that. I don't understand it. And I just wanted to talk about it because it's norm.
No, I understand
apparently.
I totally get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm all for internet dating. I am. I'm not saying that that's all that I do, but I'm saying that I'm all for it for the people who need it, based off of where you are. What you have to understand is that, in my opinion, there's 5% of there's 5% of us in the world that actually gets it, that I feel is conscious, that understands on a higher level. There's only 5% of us. That means that the other 95% of the world is highly intelligent, but they also follow the masses. They follow everything that they've always been taught. They'll never think outside the box because that's just how they think things are supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the 5% of us that actually gets it, think about it in this way. How many people are really truthfully damaged? There's so many people who are hurt. There's so many women. Like, I've had women tell me that, and you guys are gonna laugh at this, right? So I'm gonna take it to the sex. All right, I'm gonna take it to the sex portion of it. I had a woman ask me to go with her to an adult store, like a toy store.
Okay.
Buy an adult toy for her. Buy like a penis, a little fake silicone penis, and she wanted me to play with her with the penis, but she didn't want my penis because she was afraid of getting emotionally attached. But she also wanted to have that pleasure and that bond with me. So the first thing that went through my head was, okay, she's freaking crazy, right? Like this is really weird and awkward right now, right? So like, so you want me just like over there doing this, looking and like what the hell? But then after her, I started running into other women who wasn't that dramatic, but they were very much so afraid to hug a man, touch a man, and kiss a man, but they wanted interaction. And so they wouldn't let you get too close. They wouldn't really go to the movies. They wouldn't let you come over. They didn't want to come over because they were on such high guard. And what you have to understand is that some people are really hypersensitive. So I think the internet dating, for one, is a safeguard because they can kind of play with the talks and the laughs and the jokes, but not get too close. So it's kind of like a safe haven, right? For some people, it's a safe haven. The other thing is it expands your territory, right? So when it expands your territory, that's a good and a bad, because when you have predators, instead of a predator being locally in his local bar and area, now he has the whole world in his hands, right? But vice versa, when you're single and you're looking for love, and because like me, I don't go to clubs. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to clubs. So where a lot of people meet their dates and these really beautiful people and they're out and they're dancing and they're having a great time, Essex is in the house chilling. Like, I'm at the gym. You know, I'm exercising, I'm running a couple miles or something. So I don't go in that scenery. So if I don't meet you at the grocery store, at the library, at the gas station, then I'm probably not going to meet you, you know? So it's all based off of where you're at and what you're doing. And so now we get to expand our territory. Like, prime example, there's a lot of beautiful women in London, in the UK, you know, that I would have never seen, but I've been introduced into, and they absolutely love me. And so we build a rapport and we talk and we conversate and we really get to know each other, and we're attracted to each other on a level of, damn, you know, she looks good, he looks good, I love how they talk, I can't wait to meet you. But if we remove the internet from that situation, I wouldn't have never met this woman. Like, who would have ever known me and this individual would sit down and have a conversation one day, regardless if it's over video chat or not? You exist, I exist, and we actually appreciate each other's, you know, thought process and mind and our personalities, etc. So that's two. We expand our territory. It's a safe haven. Now, the other thing is that when you're dating, a lot of people are afraid that everything is about the sex. So some women have mentally forced themselves into that form of dating because they feel like they can get to know you without getting to know you, right? They can avoid the sex. Again, it's a safe haven, not necessarily from, you know, not wanting to do those things, or they want to do those things, but they don't want to rush into those things. So I know some people. I had a woman tell me, I generally like to talk for the first 3 months. And I was like, what do you mean talk for the first 3 months? And she was like, that's all we'll do is talk and text for the first 3 months. And then we can start hanging out. I want to make sure that, you know, your personality and who you are is who you really are. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. But this is where life has taken so many different personality traits. So many people see things in a different way. So I understand the whole internet dating thing because we've been forced into a different breed of society. You know, I put it like this. Sometimes I work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. When do I have time to look for a spouse? You know, easy. I get on my lunch break, on my 30-minute breaks. I can't go to the club, but I can definitely log on Facebook, send a few messages and flirt. You know, I could talk to 8 people in 30 minutes on my lunch break. There's no way I will be able to step out on my lunch break and go meet 8 beautiful women. If I get on a dating site, then I can send 100 different messages to 100 different people on my lunch break and wait for all of these different replies and just start talking to the people who I think is the most attractive and try to build something off of that. And that's all from the comfort of my home, because maybe my leg is broken. Maybe my car is broke down. Maybe I don't want to get outside. It's too hot. I don't drink. I don't want to go to the club, but I definitely want to meet somebody that's attractive though. You know, so in our world, it's kind of helped out, but if it's not for you, it's just not for you though. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't see how someone can say that in a relationship with somebody who they've never met before, but they've spoken to them via the internet and they probably speak to them via the internet.
But you have met people, right? So again, it's all perception. So think about it like this, right? You could be next to a man every day for 6 months and not know him. Every day. You can hug him, kiss him, make love to him, and still not know this man. Yeah. Or you can have a video conversation with somebody who you understand everything about. So you feel, so you sense, so how they've made you feel. So it's the perception of where you go with that individual, because again, at the end of the day, you know, again, okay, like prime example, there's a doctor over there that lives in Liverpool. Her name is Emil. Beautiful, beautiful woman. And when we first started talking, this woman told me everything about her. I know about her parents, her divorce. I know everything that this woman went through. And it's so ironic because me and her were not even together, but she shared so much with me because she feels so comfortable. She feels safe. But again, there are some women that are right here next to me every day that lives in the same city that I live in, that I've tried to establish a line of communication with. And it's so hard to get people to open up to because they're so afraid to open up to the wrong person and be taken advantage of. But you'll have somebody online who feels like, if you lie to me, guess what I do? I press that block button and I never have to worry about you again. Versus this person next to me knocking on my door. I don't know how to tell them to leave. You know, we've had sex. We may have a kid together. So people do build internet relationships because they expose their self, and also other people expose themselves back on a higher level than what anybody else around them is exposing to them. So they feel more connected, you know, so it's a perception.
You're going to say something?
As I say, it's different folks for different folks, I guess. Me personally, I'm such a vibes person. There's so much communication that happens beyond the words that you speak. And for me, I need to be in presence. I need to feel the energy. So for me, I don't know. I don't know. I must be a dinosaur. I can't relate to the internet thing. But at the same time, I haven't tried it on a deep level, to be honest. So I don't know.
I think, like, okay, fair enough. You can get close to someone via the phone, via the internet, you know, because you are talking face to face. However, when it comes to saying that you're in a relationship, to me, when you're in a relationship, that means I'm working with this person as a team. That means I wouldn't even say that I'm in a relationship with someone who I don't even live with, if you want me to be honest. If we ain't paying bills together, or we haven't made some kind of route together, then we're not really in a relationship as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we probably are friends and we share intimacy, physical and emotional intimacy if you're in the same vicinity. But if we're not really building a life together, then to me, we're not actually in a relationship. So when I'm hearing, my point is, how are people having relationships you know, and what is a relationship? As a matter of fact, what is a relationship to you, Alicia? What's a relationship?
No, that's what I was going to say. There's blurred lines, isn't there? Because there's some people who class or
Your connects quite badly.
Is it? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it keeps kind of moving around.
Oh,
It's like stopping and going and stuff.
I think it's all of us. Because I'm getting interference from both of you two as well.
Oh, okay. Carry on anyway.
Yeah.
Relationship.
I think that's what you need. Sorry? You need to establish definitions first anyway. Because for me, I class dating more as like more of a friendly type of situation. Whereas relationship is, you've met my parents, we're making plans for the future type of thing. You know what I mean? It's exclusive. Whereas dating, it's I'm talking to that person. Oh, I had a conversation with that person as well. So it's a bit more, not as serious. So if people are dating on the internet, in terms of my definition, then go forth, knock yourself out. That's cool. But for you to be saying you're in a relationship as in you're building a life together and you've never met in real life makes no sense to me. That you don't know, that person could smell. Like, you know what, you don't know. They could have really bad odor problems. Sorry?
They have garlic breath or something.
There could be all sorts. They could have halitosis. They could smell like they could smell like anything. And that's just so superficial and surface. But I'm just doing a prime example of why you need to meet the person in real life, because you could love their personality to whatever, but they've got, I don't know, some form of issue that when you meet them in real life, you're actually gagging, or you know, I don't know. So for me, I'm like, you need to meet the person in real life to be saying, yeah, we're gonna do this thing called life. Other than that, you're just a pen pal. Like back in the day, it's a pen pal. You're brethren. I don't know. That could be me. As I said, I could be a dinosaur. Who am I? You know.
But what you said makes total sense. What is your definition of a relationship? And also, you have to look at everybody loves differently too. So therefore, we all have different requirements to even establish what we feel and sense as love. Right? Like, I don't believe in the word relationship. If you really go look at the definition of the word relationship, the origin of that word is not what we consider a relationship. It's not. Everything that we're talking and we're discussing right now is called a courtship. It's not a relationship. Me really getting to know you, me understanding you, me building something with you and figuring out the woman that you are, that's me courting you. But then if we want to typically move it to the sex and move it to the lifelong, etc., then technically that's when you're quote unquote supposed to move to marriage based off of where you come from, based off of your values. But I don't believe in a relationship only because, you know, at the end of the day, how many people are in a relationship that are being cheated on? How many people are in a relationship that's married to the relationship? You've given this man in the relationship all of your qualities as a wife. So why do I even have to worry about getting married at this point? You cook, clean, we live together. I have you physically, mentally, emotionally. You do everything that a wife would do for her husband because you care for me that deeply in the relationship, to where typically, even when we do get married, the only thing that will change is that we did a ceremony. Because you have given so much of yourself to me as a woman in this relationship. So a lot of women that I date, I tell them, you know, I may be kicking my own self in the ass, but hold back. Don't give me everything. Don't throw me all the bells and whistles. Like, reserve something so that way when we get married, I'm blown away by a certain element of you that I've never seen before. This intensifies, this makes me love and appreciate my marriage on a different level. But if we've been doing everything that we've been doing, let's say for 3 years, and then we get married and nothing changes other than the fact that we have a ring, you know, and that we're committed, because 3 years invested into someone, you feel like you're going to be with them forever anyways. That would be the ideal goal. So regardless if we walk down that aisle or not, babe, you're giving me everything that a wife is giving her husband. So if we don't get married today, if we don't get married tomorrow, no big deal. You know, marriage used to be what we want to look forward to so much because of the anticipation of finally I get a wife who does these things and does this and does that for her man. You know, like a man would look forward to those things. But now we have women and men who do these things for their other half, you know, or for whoever they're dating or for the relationship. And now we have nothing to look forward to. Now marriage isn't as exciting as it used to be for that many people. It is for some people, but for a lot of people isn't, you know. For me, it's not about quote unquote waiting to get married to have sex and waiting to take things to a certain level. All I'm saying is that we put too much into that word relationship, in my opinion. We put far too much in there. We need to kind of be a little bit more reserved, you know. So again, it's all based off of what your definition of a relationship is. Like you said, you know, Sereena, yours is like, hey, we got to be living together. There's a lot of people that in a relationship that don't live together, you know, and they love each other and they're in love, but they haven't got to that level of living, but they're committed to each other. There's a lot of people, like you said, who's never seen each other that is in a relationship and they're building life goals already because of where their mentality is at. And then also what we have to understand is psychologically, what did these people endure? What did they go through to make them want to bond and attach themselves to something or to someone and define it as a relationship? That's what I look at. I look at it like there's a lot of women and men who's been through traumatic relationships, or they have been lonely and depressed for so long to where if I hit them up online and we talk, they automatically want to call it a relationship because they want to bond to something. They want to belong to someone. They want to belong to something. They want to be a part of something special. They want to feel special. They want to feel unique. So they just don't want to say it's dating. They want to be in a relationship with somebody. So they fabricate the ideal of having something so much more than what it really is. You know, so we have to understand where people are really coming from mentally and psychologically as well.
I like what you were saying in terms of saving things for your actual like marriage, the more committed. I know you didn't want to say relationship, but I'm going to use it just as an example. Like me and my girlfriends, when we have our conversations, like we kind of got to a point now where we've got like a scale, because we see a lot of the times some people we know, they're giving like platinum standards out to people, guys, and the status of where your relationship is more bronze. You know what I mean? So I'm always saying, like I say to the younger girls in my family, I'm like, what are you saving for your husband, kind of thing? And I don't necessarily just mean, you know, that level of sexual intimacy, so many different things, because it's like people are giving away all the goods to this person, and then that person will probably disappear. So what as you just said, what's the husband going to do? Sorry?
It was like we were saying the other day when I said about the what's his name? Raphael Sadiq song. When I was talking about the Raphael Sadiq song, and I want to invite my man over. This is Raphael Sadiq.
Me and you had that conversation there, exactly. And I says, why would you want to be giving out all them types of things to such a person when you guys are not looking at? I'm like, why? What's with the rush? Let's the rush about. I think things need to be established first before, you know, you're giving away such high levels. So, because as I said, there's so many people I know who are in such a bronze level bond, or the guy's giving them bronze level, and she's giving him platinum goods, and I'm like, what's that about? There's so much of an imbalance, and I think somewhere we need to start working on that things are a bit more equal in the levels, or just have some level of understanding that who gets what. Because if you're dating somebody and next minute you know he's getting full entertainment of whatever you do. When you put on your finger and Gay gives you his surname and etc., he's not getting anything more than the guy who just passed through you. That was such a very sorry. But you know what I mean?
But then at the same time, for me, hold on. At the same time, even though I understand what you're saying, at the same time, it takes away the whole living in the moment.
Takes away what?
It takes away living in the moment. When you kind of
it takes away living in the moment, because it's, as I said, what is the guy who actually makes that full commitment to you? What is he getting? If you've already done your freaky stuff and swung on a pole for Tyrone, when your husband comes along, what's he getting? You know what I mean? If he got the same stuff that Tyrone got, but Tyrone didn't need to do the commitment of living in the house with you, going half on bills with you, and all the other stuff, the deeper stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like where, as Essex was saying, where's the value in your marriage?
Yeah.
If just a guy can just get all the goods. You know what I mean? So that's what I say. You need to save something. You just can't give it all away. I think we've gone completely off topic. But
Okay, we'll just go with the flow. Go with the flow. I'm just trying to bring Essex back. Sorry, I am.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, last time I couldn't hear. So.
Yeah, you can hear now. Alicia was saying basically that we need to start kind of giving everything to and save something for our husbands or wives. Like we give them too much as well. But
I agree.
But doesn't that kind of take you away from living in the moment at the same time with the person who you're with?
No, not at all. Because no matter what we do, there's limits, and there's always levels to everything that we do. So I can live in a moment with you, but that doesn't mean that I have to give you everything to the extreme, right? Like I sit back and I tell my friends all the time, society has made men feel like if we don't spoil you, we don't do these things, then we're cheap. I'm not cheap, but why am I taking every single woman that I date to a 5-star restaurant? Why am I spoiling her? Because then when I meet my wife, then there's no difference. All of these women can turn back and look at my wife and say, well, baby, he took me there too. He's done this for me as well. He's taken me shopping. He's bought me things. He's given me gifts as well. So don't feel special. No, I'm sorry. I will never do that to my wife. Only my wife will truthfully be able to say, Essex went all out for me. Everybody else would be like, well, damn, we ain't never got that. You know, so it's not that I'm not living in a moment, but it's levels to everything that I do. So like you want to hang out, you want to chill, you want to kick it, you want to party, you want to have fun. Hell, hey, even if you want to have sex, that's fine. You're going to get the basic sex. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get the extremities. You're not going to get all of the extra fun things in life that my wife is going to get, you know. We're not going to go and do all of these extra, you know, none of that. Because, again, when I get married, if my wife asks me, well, babe, I want something that no other woman has had, I need to be able to have a list of things to give her. You know?
Yeah. Where you're coming from. I think even back to the whole thing, dating people, the way that I used to practice Islam. Yes. And can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a bit better.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I used to practice Islam years ago when I was 20. I'm 35 now. For a good couple of years. And it got to a point where I wanted a husband. And what we had to do was somebody would kind of recommend a guy who's single, and then you'd talk to the guy on the phone, and then once you've spoken on the phone and things, you would then meet up with the wali, or with the person who would be like, there has to be a third person in the room basically, and talk. You would just talk to each other and then decide whether you want to get married or not. And I had quite a few of these meetings. In that moment of having those conversations with those guys, I knew that I would never be with them. And it kind of strengthened my ability to be very discerning in terms of when guys approach me in everyday life anyway. It was good because it created a structure and it created a boundary. Talking on the phone and then meeting up, it was quite transparent. But then at the same time, I found it wasn't kind of it was too structured and too planned. There was no spontaneity to it. So even that's what I'm saying when I'm talking about living in the moment a bit more. Like obviously You're not going to give someone your all. But when you're internet dating with somebody, it's very difficult to have that spontaneity to the relationship or whatever it is that you're trying to create. It must be very structured, because even when I had conversations with those guys on the phone, it was some of them I spoke to really well, we flowed, whatever. But then when it came to face, the guy couldn't talk. It wasn't even more so me. I found that the guy couldn't talk. He didn't feel that comfortable talking to me. So whereas we've built that rapport on the phone, and we're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to meet up, blah, blah, blah. Then when we meet, there ain't nothing to really say. Yeah. And I'm afraid that could happen in an internet dating scenario where, you know, you're talking on Skype and blah, 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 blah. Then when you actually meet that person, so just say, for instance, myself and Essex was to meet up, we would say we're going to flirt with each other on Skype or on Blab. Yeah. And then he decides to come to England, or I decide to go to Las Vegas. Like, what is the likelihood that we're really going to gel and have a conversation? So for me, I'm just saying that I feel like people need to kind of hold back and be a bit more realistic in terms of that could actually be the case. That could actually be the case, that we might not get on as well as we do talking when we actually meet up.
Yeah.
You get me? Because the point that I'm making is a lot of people are saying that they were actually in love with people on the internet. I'm not saying, you know, you can be in love with people. I love you. Yeah, I love you. But for me to say, oh my God, I'm in love with him, I've never hugged this guy in my life, nothing, I think it's unrealistic. You can feel that thing where you're like, do you know what, I feel really close to this person or whatever, but at the same time, there must be a line where you draw to say, yeah, I do feel like I love you, but at the same time, we have to meet up before we can really say that that's really the case.
But that's how I mean? but that's how you love, though, right? That's based off of how you love, and that's why I said there are people who love very differently. There are women who okay, I'm gonna use this example. Please forgive me. But how many women on my page has never met me and tell me they love me, they're in love with me every day, inbox me?
They can't love you. They've never physically done anything to you.
But here's the whole thing, though. Mentally, they do love me. To them,
they love the
there
idea.
Are some of these women.
They love the idea of you.
But that's real enough for them. See, again, you're a part of that 5% that gets it and understands. They're a part of that 95% that feels and really thinks that they are loved. When you take a look at a rock star, you take a look at a famous R&B, how many women are getting their names and passing out and fainting and, oh, that's my baby daddy, and post pictures of this person every day. They're infatuated with this individual over their music, right? That's just over their music alone. So what I'm saying is that a person with that type of mentality and with that ability, with somebody who they don't talk to, and now you put the element of a intimacy in between you and the individual, a one-on-one conversation where we can talk, we can video chat, we can take things to another level, then people really do sense and feel that they are in love. They do sense and feel that they have a relationship. They do sense and feel.
Why is Marley giving you props? Oh, she's giving everyone props.
But for real though, there's some people that really do sense and feel that. So it's where their mind is capable. It's what their mind is capable of. It's what they perceive as love. It's what they perceive as real. That's the whole thing. But your perception of real is totally different from what another woman's perception of real is. You know, what you require, your hugs, your kisses, we have to meet. Can you really talk to me face to face? Another woman may never even think about that and could care less, as long as she feels loved and accepted, right? There was a song where he said, even if it's not real love, as long as it feels like love, I'm in love. And there's so many people that really truthfully live by that, to where they know, okay, this isn't real love, but it feels like love. It sounds like love. It looks like love. And this is the best that I can do right now. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to deal with it. And I'm going to put up with it. And that's exactly what they do. So it's just your perception of things. That's all.
It's interesting. What it is, yeah, because where does the line get drawn with truth and perception?
It's so what's your truth? Like again, again, it's your mentality, right? But I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not making excuses for anyone, but I personally know for a fact, not even saying that I'm like this, but I personally know for a fact, when you really sit down and you talk to some of these people, right? Like if you just don't make any judgment and you sit down and you have a conversation, in their mind, they are really truthfully in this relationship, like how me and you would be right next to each other, right? There are some women who really feel like they know Essex and they're in love with Essex. There's a woman who inboxes me every single day who tells me that she knows for a fact that God sent me to her and that she cannot wait for us to finally go ahead and meet. And I've never responded to this woman. I just look at the messages and then I close out my inbox. So now it's to the point where I don't even really look at the full message. I can just see the beginning of it and I already know where it's going. Right? But the point is that every day, faithfully, she's going to send that message because in her mind, she feels, or she has created the connection. The connection may not even be real, but her mentality, her perception, her psychological being has created this connection to where she feels like I am the one that God sent to her. Although I've never spoken to her, never responded. All I've ever did was make a video. So think about this. The body and the mind is so powerful. A woman, and this is proven scientific fact, a woman can think herself into a pregnancy.
Yeah.
Although you may not carry a child, you can make your body go through all the terms of what a pregnant woman will go through because you can think yourself into a pregnancy. So if the body and the mind can connect that powerful, right? Think about it. If the body and the mind can connect that powerfully together, what makes you think that a woman and a man as well cannot think themselves into this false reality of a relationship, this false reality of a marriage?
You're right, because a lot of us do that. A lot of women do that. Even when, like, as women, we're kind of, as soon as we see a guy, it's like, okay, can I have his babies? Are we going to get married and divorced and everything? Like, even me, I've met guys and I think, oh my God, I like him so much, I'm going to have to like dump him in my head. Like, he's just not even going to know and then get back with him. So I've got over
see my
that.
facial expression.
I know.
Whoa. Let me hide the camera.
Because you just feel so strongly for the guy. You know, a lot of women do go through that. So I know exactly. Hello, baby. You're right, Kill. Yeah, it looks nice.
I got a star.
Gorgeous. Really? Really? Wow. A star for a
awesome.
star. Wicked. Yeah, so a lot of women do kind of fall in love with the idea, but I feel like internet dating props that up because it's not, that illusion is not good. It's not good because the men are not even necessarily in love with the woman like that either. They're not.
Some men are.
They're not.
Some men are. So what you have to realize is that for every desperate woman, there's a desperate man.
Oh, Lord.
There is. And so when you got two desperate people that meet each other, Lord knows what could really happen psychologically between those two. The baby's gone, so we can get a little bit more detailed with that ideal of it. So even when you want to take it to a physical aspect, okay, there are people who have online sex, to where they video chat and they'll have a toy. So you have a man that'll masturbate and the woman is playing with herself. They both have an orgasm and that's how they make love to each other through online sex. That's happening very frequently and very often. Pornography started the ideal concept of that when they did webcam. When you have all of these men who watch one lady and fantasize that they're with that one woman. So they always go back and watch this one woman. They pay to watch this woman because they've built a relationship in their mind and in their head with this woman. That woman is their woman. That's their babe. And so how do we play on that? That woman responds to them individually and makes them feel special and unique to her, when the reality of it is that they see 150 other different men that are in that chat. But for some odd reason, their mind bonds to the idea that they are exclusive exclusive and that they are special. I just made a video on my page called "I'm Not That Special at All," right? And that's one of the reasons why I made that video, because when I was young, a girl would say, "Well, I don't really do this to everybody," and I would feel like a king, like, yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, she did it for me only. And the reality of it is that she's probably said that to 6 other people. But in my mind, although I know that we're not together, I know that my homie was just with her a couple weeks ago. What makes me feel and think that I'm special? Because we love the idea of feeling so wonderful. We love the ideal of being exclusive.
Yeah. So don't you think that the internet's bad for men then?
I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think it's just all about who you are as a person. Again, here's the whole thing. No matter what we do, love, no matter what we do, no matter how we do it, somebody will take it to another level beyond what it needs to be taken to because of where they are at. And this is why I don't really judge, and this is why I don't really tell people what not to do. I just express my opinion and thoughts about things and let people try to relate to them, the feasibility of it. And this is something, and then I'm gonna shut up, I promise. But like you said, we have to understand the feasibility of what we're doing. So like, prime example, there's a woman in London. Okay, you're in London. The reality of it is that I'm not prepared to move to London right now. So if we fall in love and you don't want to leave London, I don't want to leave the US right now. What are we doing? Why are we taking this there? But there's so many people that don't look at it like that, right? And so I always ask people, because there's a lot of women that I've met online, like, especially doing what I do, and they've reached out and we talk and we get to know each other. Well, where do you really want to be? Like, are you attached to where you're at? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to relocate? Because me and my son will relocate for the right reasons, for job, career opportunity, etc. But what are you really willing to do? And when somebody tells me, well, I love home, or I love this city, I don't want to leave this city, and I know in the back of my head that I don't want to leave Vegas right now, then I don't even take it there. Not that I don't appreciate that person, but I don't take it there because now the feasibility isn't even real between this. What can we do? Now, we may visit, we may hang out and kick it a couple times. Cool. We'll leave it at that. But unless either one of us is really talking about being okay with uprooting where we are and what we're doing, So that's like, that's like me asking either one of you ladies, hey, do you guys want to move to the US? You're like, no. Well, then, forget it then. What's the purpose of me even trying to start anything, But you have some people who are looking for a change. I do want to move to the UK. I do want to go to London. Oh, I do want to come to the States. I'm tired of over here. I would love to come live over there. And then that's when that hope develops. Yeah. And they start building something in hopes that they can get away from where they are. They can, move into a new element and start over and be with somebody fresh away. And I mean, it is what it is. Me and my friend, we always say this. She may be a mother in New York, a hoe in Miami, and a wife in Las Vegas. And this is all the same woman. And that's very true. Some people build a foundation that they're not satisfied with. And they feel like, in Miami, I'm going to always be a hoe. In New York, I'm going to always just be this freaking in-house mom. I need to get away. I need to start over. And they look for something to bond to start over. Yeah. So boom, they get on the phone with Essex in Vegas. And Essex is like making them feel like they can be everything that they want to be in Vegas. I would love to come to Vegas. And now in their mind, they're like, yeah, I'm moving to Vegas to be with this guy. That's for real. I can literally screenshot and send it to you. There are women who have moved here without telling me.
Really?
I've had 4 women move to Las Vegas without telling me, and then pop up and say, hey, I'm in Vegas, I would love to meet you. I know that there's great people here because of you, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then when I don't meet them, they literally hate my guts. But here's the whole thing, love. I never, ever had a conversation with you, but I've had 4 women move to Vegas because they felt like I made a comment. This was my fault. I made a comment on my page in the beginning and said that I don't date women in Vegas because I haven't been able to find any women of substance in Vegas. And that I wish that Vegas had more women of substance, that the women that I've met in Vegas are very materialistic. I have 4 women that felt like they were women of substance and attractive enough up and moved to Vegas without telling me,
Wow.
thinking that they would be that woman of substance. So you have to ask yourself, what did these 4 ladies, I don't judge them, you know, and I never talk about them. I've never put that out on my page. But what did these 4 women really go through psychologically to where they uprooted their life and their kids in hopes to meet this man that they've never even met or talked to? What did they go through? Where are they at? What type of pain did they endure? You know, like, what is their state of loneliness? What is their state of depression? What is their state of love? Like, where are these women at emotionally, mentally, psychologically? What the hell are they going through to make such a dramatic move in hopes of love? It's almost scary to wonder what they've been through, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
I had this guy, and he talked. My friends told me off because what I've been doing recently is when I meet guys, I've been blocking them in my WhatsApp straight away and just allowing them to just text or call me, because I feel like people just kind of, well, guys just automatically go for the messaging or the Facebook. They don't actually go for the connection, like straight away. It's like standoffish, and I don't like it. And then when you don't respond, it's like they're sharking you and stalking you out. When you don't respond, when they see you blue tick, it's like, oh, are you ignoring me? And all this kind of stuff. And I don't like it. I just think it's horrible. So I feel like I try and keep them as far away as possible. So you have to call me. We have to talk on the phone if I've got time to talk on the phone, and make plans to meet up properly. Stop with the whole, how many kids have you got? What planet are you from? You know, it's like you're telling your whole life story through WhatsApp to some strange person who you don't even know. I don't appreciate that.
I think that's the type of guys you're attracting there, because I don't have that problem. Nobody.
No, I've got
to keep messaging me. I get calls, so I wouldn't generalize and say all guys, and we're in the same country. I don't have people trying to message me all the time. They're more will call my phone first. I have the opposite. They more want to call me than message me.
Yeah, that's me too.
When I
block people.
Then they start calling.
I have to block people, man. Like, like they call me at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. And I'm like, you're in the United States. So like, even if you're in the East Coast, because I'm in the West Coast, it's 7 a.m., it's 6 a.m. your time. Who is up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning when you know I'm off? Right. Like, no. Why are you calling me at 6 a.m.? And then, like, if I don't answer, oh, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to talk to you. And so I get it. I understand and I respect it. But people don't know their boundaries. They don't. Because, again, they're in such high hopes for something. You know, it has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with popularity. It has everything to do with the ideal of hope. You know, they're tired, they're lonely, they're depressed, they need love, they need attention. Mainly, it's that they need a form of attention. So, I don't know. I also know it's an insecure thing as well. I know a lot of people want to talk versus meet, or they want to text versus meeting up because they're insecure. I'm going to tell you how I know this is because I was that person for a little while. So, like, when I didn't have a car, or when I didn't drive the car that I really wanted to drive, because so many people are materialistic and very tangible here, there would be women who would be like, oh, well, let's go on a date. And I didn't even have the money to, quote unquote, afford what they would call a nice date. Because, you know, this person will make you feel like if you don't take them to a certain place, then obviously you can't handle them as an individual. So there would be times to where, like, I would stall out and I would just want to talk, or I would always act like I'm busy to try to get to know them while until I get paid or until I get into a better situation. And again, that's the mentality, and that's what people kind of have created. They've created that sense, or they created that world to where some men and women aren't secure. They have insecurities. They don't feel comfortable enough to go on a date. They don't think they look good enough. They don't think they make enough money. They don't think they can afford the right outfits, which is sad. that we have to feel and think that way, but it's true. You know, I've heard so many women tell me, I really want to get out, but I have nothing to wear. And my response is, so what do you have on right now? Just a shirt and some jeans. Then that means you have something to wear. You know, and they cannot fathom the ideal of just being who they are. If they cannot dress up, cannot get their hair and their nails done, which I get it. You want to be presentable. You don't want to look all rough. But if you're doing the best that you can do, either I accept that or I don't. And you should be comfortable with either I accept that or I don't.
Oh, I don't dress up for them anymore. If I got my first date.
So my only rule is don't wear tennis shoes with a skirt. That's my only rule. Don't wear tennis shoes with a dress or a skirt. If you wear tennis shoes with a dress or a skirt, I will never talk to you again. I'm sorry. I'm not picking you up anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, gosh. Is that like all stars?
Man, like, you don't know. Like, I see summer dresses and some all stars, some Chucks. Yeah. Like, why? Like, what happened to a nice pair of flats or something? You know, like if you could buy some Chucks, you could buy a nice pair of flats. Women, you guys get away with being able to have. This is the whole thing about women to me. You guys can dress so nice for such an amazing price. Yeah. Right? It's just all about how you style and your confidence. Your confidence is 90% of your look to me. It really is.
Well, I don't want to go on fancy dates at the beginning of the relationship anymore, or the friendship or whatever it is. I say we'll go out for a coffee and then I'll decide whether I want him to take me on a proper date or not. Because I don't want to waste my clothes. That's number one. And number two, I don't know.
Man. I wish. That's all I'm going to say is I wish. Because over here, it's like, if we're not going to a steakhouse, then no, I'm fine.
No, because you're just practicing around with this guy. Do you know what I mean? You don't know who he is. He could have slept with everyone. You don't know, he could be a proper dickhead. And I'm not wasting my clothes. We go out for coffee or whatever, and then I'll decide whether I want to dress up for you or not. No, I used to be like, oh yeah, you've got to take me to Marco, Pierre White's or San Carlo or whatever. But then I thought to myself, oh, he was an absolute dickhead. Now, every time I go to my favorite restaurant, I'm going with different guys, and it's making me look away. Not that they care, they just want the money at the end of the day. But I'm kind of upgrading these guys, and also guys are then starting to know what other restaurants to go to. You know, I literally had this guy call me up and ask me out on a date, and he was like, well, where would you go? And for some reason, I says, I'll just tell you. I didn't tell him what the restaurant was called. For some strange reason, I just didn't tell him. I said, oh, when we meet up, I said, I'll phone you and let you know where we're going to go and whatever. And then he started going on about, oh, because, you know, I've been thinking about it when I'm dating girls and stuff. I don't know where to take them and blah, 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 blah. But because he sees me as a top girl, he's literally trying to kind of sneak out of me the top places to take females to. So I don't mess with niggas no more. We go to Starbucks, Costa, the local places. I talk to you. We get to know each other. And then if I want to parade myself around in my lovely outfit with you, if you deserve that, like Alicia said, you know, you've got to deal with these people in stages. Just be giving yourself to them, and they're not even on no level. You're on Starbucks level. If I want to take it to San Carlo 5-star level, then we have a conversation and we'll take it there. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm the same way now. No, I'm just being honest. Like, no, like okay. For real though. So, but a lot of people. So again, your culture is totally different than a Western culture. Like in the United States, the mentality, and this isn't of a Black woman, this is just a lot of women. Of course, when you bring this topic up, everyone says, no, that's not the mentality of us. But for some odd reason, when we're dating, that is the mentality that we're receiving, no matter how you look at it, right? So it's like there's so many women to where if I just want to go sit down and have a cup of coffee and I really don't want to spend any money, they feel like I'm being cheap, you know? I had a lady tell me that, because I got a Honda Civic. I got a 2000 Honda Civic 4-door. Okay. It's not all, it's not raggedy. I keep my hoopty clean, you know? And I had her tell me that, well, you can drive over here, but we'll take my car. She didn't want to drive in my car because my car wasn't good enough for her to be seen in, right? So I told her, you know what? I'll just wait till I get another car.
Wow.
And I never called her again.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know? But again, so when you go through things like that, and here's another thing too, like I tell people I'm an empath, so I sense emotions really well.
Me too.
You know? And so when I walk into a room, or if I approach a situation, or if I pull up and I sense that hesitation, I can sense why that hesitation is hesitant as well.
Yeah.
So I know that it's in my car. I know that it's, you know, maybe I'm not exactly what you thought I was going to be, or whatever the situation, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm not really big on the whole online dating thing.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons why Essex is still very single. But that's me though, you know. But again, there's other women to where if I want to date online, they have no standards. They don't care. Okay, I could be whoever, and they just want to have some fun. You know, so for me, when I meet somebody, I like for them to like see me in my raw element. You know, when I tell people that I'm very comfortable, I set the standard of how I'm gonna pull up anyways. You know, even on my videos, I tell people, yo, I drive a 2000 Civic. So if the Civic isn't good enough for you, then don't call me. That's real, you know? And I think I challenge people with that mentality because they like the ideal of me so much to where like they have to kind of go against what they're used to. And they're like, shit, I really, really like him, but he drives a Honda, but I really like him. You know, what do I do? Forget it. Okay, I'll ride in a Honda. You know, it's really funny because you can tell that their mentality, you know, there's a lady in New York. I'm not going to mention her because one day she may see this video, but she told me when we first talked, I don't date guys that dress cheap. Right? So how I killed her was in a good way, but how I killed her was I was like, well, listen, love, you know, I wear cargo shorts, Nikes, and a t-shirt, but I have a $300,000 home. All my bills are paid for. My credit score is good. So I'm not cheap. But how would you know what's dressing cheap? Because my cargo shorts are just basic cargos, but they cost like $60 for a pair of shorts, you know? And my t-shirt's like a $40 t-shirt with no logos on there. So how would you know this is cheap? Because you can have somebody that can go to what we call like TJ Maxx or Marshalls out here and get a polo shirt for $15.99, you know? But because it's polo, you mean to tell me you're going to give him a better chance than me because I'm wearing a $40? So like his shirt's half my price, but because it's name brand, you're going to give him a chance before me. And she didn't even know how to respond, you know? So I think some people just, I don't know where they've been in life or what they've been through or whoever has programmed them to feel that way. But you have to understand there is a bit of insecurity in there as well, because for a very long time, because I was poor, because I was homeless, I didn't have anything. Man, there were so many women that I knew appreciated me as far as my mentality, who I was, but I was so afraid to date them. I mean, I was afraid to date these women, to take them on dates, because I felt like I wasn't good enough, you know, because of the standards that society has set. So online dating allows you to cheat because I don't have to dress up. I can take one nice profile shot, and that's the picture that you're going to relate to every time we talk. Or even when we video chat, oh, I'm in the house, just relax, you know? And so I don't have to dress up. I don't have to smell a certain way. You're not in the car with me. I don't have to buy you anything, but we can really get a chance to know each other. So it's a way of cheating as well, you know?
Yeah. I'm somebody who's very real. So even what you see on my Facebook or on my Instagram or what, yeah, that's me. That's how you see me. I'm not one of those people that are who they want to be through their social media. And there's a lot of people out there who are who they aspire to be through their social media. So when people approach me through social media, straight away I know, hold on a minute, you might not be who you say you are. So for instance, this guy talked to me through, and I gave him the day or time because I thought, let me open up myself to talking to people via social media. I know it's the only one person, but he does events and things like that. So he was talking to me from that angle. Seemed quite all right, quite transparent. Met him up and things, and we chatted and stuff. But in the end, he was very, very, very insecure. So even in terms of his work that he was doing, he was very, very insecure. It's, for me, it's hard to kind of gauge people through internet dating, because like I said, that it's all about who people aspire to be. When you see me say I'm doing something, I'm really doing it. I'm fearless like that. These people are literally trying to talk on through their Facebook Live, doing events and things like that to make themselves look like they're somebody who is, you know, psychologically fit, mentally well, when really that in itself is still a facade.
Yeah, I agree.
Very true. No, I 110% agree.
Trying to get somebody through that channel, you know what? Because me, I love intimacy. I love talking to people. I enjoy being sociable. So if I connect with someone and you're not your real self, that's going to piss me off.
Yeah.
That's really piss me off.
Because like, one of the things that I tend to keep saying on dates is like, oh,
sorry, I asked her to pass me my drink a long time ago.
Oh.
Sorry.
I always say on a date is, I'm like, you can say whatever you want out your mouth. I'm watching you. I say to a man, I'm reading everything else about you other than what's coming out of your mouth. So because I'm on that level, as like Essex said earlier, like I'm an empath as well, so I'm very much, I can feel you, I can read you, your mouth's shut, and I'm reading everything else about you. So because I'm on that level, the whole internet thing can't work for me, because I need to be in your aura, I need to be in your space, I need to be vibing with you, I need to watch you in real life, I need to see your response to other people, environments, me, everything. I can't get that virus.
And you know one thing? One thing, even on the pictures, I looked at the guy and I thought, oh, he's got a lovely smile. He's got a really nice smile. Then when we met up, when his face was straight, it really pissed me off. It was awful.
Or it could be a stale picture. It could be a picture of him 10 years ago.
No.
Hey,
when I
get that a lot. I get that so much, man. Like,
his smile was nice.
Oh my God.
He even had a gold tooth and everything. He was really cute. But then when his face was straight, it was like he frowned. His mouth went like this. And I remember sitting there and going, why is your face like that? And he says, what do you mean? I says, why do you put you literally frown? You've got such a lovely smile, but you literally frown when your face is straight. And he was like, no, nothing's wrong with my face. But this is what I'm saying now. Now imagine, Alicia, now you've been talking to this dude, you've got a nice smile, for months. Then you link him up and he frowns when his face is straight.
Like
after
this?
You've all connected with him, you feel like, yeah, we're in a relationship, loving shit, loving the idea of this dude, and then he frowns.
Nah, man. That's what I'm saying.
That happens to me all the time. Like with women. So let me tell you what a lot of women tend to do. Like in their younger days before they had kids or they gained their weight or they hit their 30s and they were like really thin. So, you know, I post a lot of pictures of me like working out in the gym doing things. So I always get the pictures of that slim body, that nice body before, like 20 pounds ago body, you know? And then like if we ever meet or if they ever come in town and they want to like buy a t-shirt, I'd be like, okay. But yesterday you just posted a picture of you like 20 pounds lighter. Like, I know the food wasn't that good on the airplane. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way the food was that good on the airplane. And so I don't say anything, but I just really be thinking to myself, like, man, this is so crazy. And even when you look at angles and lighting now, because, you know, there's a tutorial. There's a tutorial on YouTube that teaches you how to take better selfies to where you can make your breasts look bigger with a certain angle. You can make your ass look bigger if you sit a certain way and you do certain things so that way, you know, your curves will pop out. So there are tutorials to teach people how to sit or stand in an angle to make the body look curved, perfect for ass, for hips, for titties, things like that. So again, that's why we have trust issues. Okay, that's why we have trust issues.
We've already got trust issues as it is. My cousin, I was disgusted a couple of weeks ago. I was absolutely disgusted. She made me take about 300 pictures of her, and she was cropping, filtering this picture for about 4 hours. I'm not lying. I was like, are you still filtering that picture?
Wow, that's sad. That's very sad.
She was literally smudging out the flab around her, and there's no flab, you know, because she's raw sexy. She looks good. She's smudging out the flab, this and that. I said, that's deception. That's deception. How are you going to take 4 hours to do that? You better get 3,000 likes on that picture after you just took 4 hours. How much are you getting paid to do that?
But if you have to do something, so why post? Better you didn't not post a picture.
I didn't realize that she was that insecure. I didn't realize it. 4 hours. Me, I take the picture. I have my gurus, the powder on my head. I don't care because I know that I'm hot in that way. I can take nice pictures of myself, and I can take pictures where I look more natural, or like I just wake up in the morning. I don't understand, and that's why I can't talk to people through social media, because I see what goes on. I can't take them seriously. No way. It has to be a platonic situation.
Have you guys ever seen the documentary on the Instagram girls? Like some of the world's top Instagram. So there's like a little video out floating around about like some of the world's top Instagram girls. A majority of them are like, I guess you want to say almost homeless. They're poor. All they have is their clothes, their makeup, and their outfits. They get paid to like do certain modeling things, but like there's a group of them that actually live together. They're like 4 of these girls who live together, and they all have like 300, 400, 500,000 followers, and they're some of like Instagram top models. And they call them Instagram models because that's all they have is Instagram pages. They're not known or recognized anywhere else other than like Instagram, Twitter, etc. And these girls, you know, like they live in LA, but they really don't work. So they all like, you'll have like 4 or 5 of them in a 2-bedroom, like, you know, with air mattresses or bunk beds, and one room is like a really nice room, and then everybody else is just kind of like sleeping on the couches in the front room, on the floor, and then they like always take pictures in the room, or, you know, and nobody really links it or puts it together. And so all of these guys are in love with these chicks, and all of these women think that these chicks spend these massive, crazy amount of money, but a majority of the people that we idolize and that we think look good, they don't. You know, we normal people are actually doing better than them. You know, I mean, some of them are really successful, but there are so many others who were actually doing better than them, you know? And so, like you said, it's definitely a facade and it's definitely fake. But again, you're a part of that 5% conscious world, understanding world that understands that. You see that, you can relate to that. You can say, no, I need more than this. But there's so many more people that's a part of that 95% to where if one of those ladies hit them up, oh yeah, you know, man, I talked to her, you know, and they don't even think why me or how many other guys talk to this woman. They don't care. They just want to be able to say that they talk to this woman, you know. And again, you just have to really look at what media is really doing. The media is really taking us away from our elements. Look at virtual reality, right? Oh my God, they built a virtual reality suit to where you put the suit on and it stimulates, or it simulates everything in life. So you put these goggles on and you're walking on this treadmill, you think you're walking down the street, you know? So you run into this lady while you're walking down the street and you're talking to her, and when you reach your hand out, the suit grips your hand like somebody shook your hand. Right? So you're literally just on a treadmill with this full body suit on. So even when it comes to like having sex, they have a suit that basically penetrates a woman, and then it, you know, it covers over a man, and when you're laying in bed with these goggles on, it simulates sex. So you're in bed having sex with somebody, but you have these goggles on. So in these goggles, you're in this perfect example world, but you're not even moving. You're just laying there thinking that you're doing all of these things, right? So you know, again, that's where technology has really disconnected us from one another. Okay, because technology is a beautiful thing, but it's also damaging as well if we let it do too much. It's cool to enjoy for certain things, but I think we're letting technology take place of people literally, and now we're losing our sense. I had a topic on my page about women and toys, why toys aren't healthy for a woman, and there were so many women who beg to differ. Like, oh, I like my toy. You know, don't tell me I can't use my toy. And I was like, oh my God. But here we go again. If you go get a toy that's natural looking, that doesn't do all of the things that a man will never be able to do, I get it. But if you go get this toy that's like twist, bent, turn, curve, spikes, vibrates 6 different ways, a man will never be able to do that, love. So if your body gets used to these extravagant, eccentric ass feelings and sensations and areas in the body that a man will never be able to touch. Well, when your body craves that, and then you get my little plain Jane little homie, okay?
We'll come in a bit there, okay?
I'm boring to you. You know, sex is lame to you because you've built a tolerance to something so high, so abnormal, to where a man that you desire, it's like, I got something that does it better, you know? And so you shouldn't get anything that's not normal if that's the level that you're going to take it to. You know, it needs to be normal shape, normal look. It doesn't need to do all the extra because, again, technology is a beautiful thing. I get it. They created something for you to take it to the next level, but a man will never be able to do that, you know? And it's the same thing with, you know, the online dating, the sexting, the whole nine. Like, I have women that send me pictures all the time, and I get so mad sometimes because I'll be like, listen, I love the pictures. Like, they're wonderful. Thank you. But when are you going to come see me? Oh, that's right. You don't even freaking know me. You're not going to come see me. So you mean to tell me you're just going to show me all of your goods and you're going to tease me? You're going to give me all of this wonderful ideal and thoughts and we can't even act on it? I don't know your first name, your last name. I don't even know if the rest of you actually looks good. Like, don't do that to me, you know? Like, build a rapport with me, get to know me. Let me actually meet you and then say, hey, this is what's waiting for you. Like, what's all the other stuff for, you know? But again, technology is beautiful to where, yeah, you can send me a picture of you. Yeah, you can, you know, entice me a little bit while I'm at work and tease me and give me something to think about. But then at the same time, it's damaging, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Actually, just a quick one to touch on. One app that I've got a friend and she met her partner on Tinder. And so she just thought she'd recommend me. So I also went on Tinder for about 2 hours and I just came off because I was like, this is not my zhuzh. My problem I had with that was the whole swipe business, when it's just your picture and swipe. For me, I pride myself on my intelligence. I actually sometimes get offended if somebody's drawn to me visually, which I know it just sounds stupid because somebody's going to be drawn to me visually before I open my mouth, but I'm more about be attracted to my mind before my face kind of thing. So the fact that the whole Tinder thing is your face, if your face is yes or no, it offends me. What's your views on that?
I'm like that as well, to be fair.
Huh?
And I'm like that, to be fair. When I meet guys, I have kind of messed it up for myself sometimes because I've been afraid that they like my face so much and they like my body so much.
Yeah.
I'll talk about really intelligent things and I'll be going on about, you know, some shit.
Yeah.
About some shit. Just to get them see that I'm more than just the way that I look. However, recently I've had to kind of like cool that down a little bit because men kind of go a long time off our looks. We don't have to kind of keep sell it. We don't have to sell ourselves in that way. Obviously, with Tinder, like just swiping and like your face and then go, that's some bullshit at the end of the day. But I mean, you know, I can't even talk about
There's just
social media.
no personality involved.
But,
I
we
don't
do
get
that.
it.
But listen, we do that anyways, though.
Sorry?
We do that in real life anyways, though, right? So here we go. We don't know. Listen.
No, I've had conversations with ugly people. Sorry. Oh, that was so wrong. Like, not people.
Exactly, right? So
no, but
there you go.
I've entertained
There you go.
people who are not as visually, I'm not as visually stimulated by before, because I was more concentrated on thy personality. My thing at the moment is I'm more about a man's character than if he's pretty. If he's handsome, then that's a lovely bonus for me right about now, because I've dated handsome men who've been complete assholes. So I'm more
going to bring the phone
right now. So for me, I want it to be the same. I don't want men to just, like, I've had people who just so interested in me just because of my look. They're just in awe of me, or just being a complete perv. But there's just nothing else. And for me, I'm really about conversation with whoever I'm, you know, in talks with. So I don't want you to just be sitting there dribbling, looking at me, like I'm not about that. Essex has to cover his face. You know what I mean? So that's why things like Tinder for me is just like, I'll never put my face on there. That 2 hours that I went on there, I didn't even put my face on there. I was just looking to see what this thing's about. And I'm like, it's just yes or no's on faces. I was like, you know what? I'm not about that life. And I come straight off that.
Like, all right, then say like Essex now. I've contacted Essex and I've said, yeah, let's work together on whatever, let's collaborate. But for me, that's a spontaneous kind of act. But when people kind of sign up to internet dating sites and things to literally orchestrate meeting somebody, I don't get it. If you're kind of working on a project and you happen to meet somebody who is in the same arena as you, etc., that's different. But for me to literally see some dude on the Facebook and be like, oh, he's hot, let me contact him, and then me and the guys talking, and then we feel like that's some kind of divine happening.
Nah,
it's not. Orchestrated it.
Yeah,
and it's just not work.
No, I agree with you. I don't get it. It's not my zhuzh. Nah.
And even doing this today, I just wanted to kind of have the conversation casually. So people out there who are having relationships via social media and thinking that it's normal and it's love at first sight, hold on. People who are having relationships, especially people of the diaspora, especially Black people, who are kind of inhabiting this Western way of thinking. You know, we are divine beings and we're magical, and we can, through our integrity, we can meet the right people, whether it's work related, whether it's to fix our health, whether it's to better our wealth, whatever it is to become more intimate with people. We can orchestrate intimacy and physical intimacy through our integrity and through our divine selves. We don't have to do that via the platforms that the Western world have given to us. If I continue to want to speak in different countries and blah, 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 you never know, my husband might be from Africa. He might be from Las Vegas. He might be from New York. He might be from wherever. But I'm going to meet him. I prefer to know that I met him through me progressing myself rather than being lazy ass scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and him just happening to be desperate enough to bother with my ass.
So here's the whole thing though, right? So on the Tinder thing, this is how I feel about Tinder. I feel like we are walking Tinders, if that makes sense, right? Exactly. So what we do as people is, as I'm walking, I take a look at her and I'm swiping left for no, right? Like physically I'm not swiping, but in my mind, reject, or that's a reject, ding, that's definitely who I would talk to. that's definitely who I would talk to. No, that's a reject. Dean, that's who I would talk to, right? So when we see these people, we have the slightest clue if some of the world's most beautiful people have, like, literally, I've had some gorgeous women, when they open their mouth, I'm mad at them. Like, why did you even talk? Like, you sound stupid. Just shut up, right? And then I've had some people who, like you said, aren't as attractive as I may necessarily like. They're not my preference, but they're very, very beautiful beings. But here's the one thing that I've learned the hard way with that is I always tell people I really don't go out for looks, but a part of us really do. At the end of the day, you have to be attracted to this individual. You have to find some form of attraction in this individual that is strong enough to make you happy and feel content with being with this individual for an extremely long time. If you don't seek and find that level of attraction, then you're always going to be curious or lusting or thinking or desiring something different than what you have. So I tell all of my friends, it may sound like being an asshole sometimes. It may sound like being rude or being negative, but it's the truth. If you're not attracted to this woman, if you really don't see this woman in that way, if you're not attracted to that man, if his body isn't just, what you always desire, you have to ask yourself, can you put up with that? Are you okay with that? Do you want to work with that? Do you want to see what that could progress to be? Like, do you want to give that an opportunity? Do you see the potential in that? Or are you just not satisfied? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm at the point in life now to where if I'm not satisfied with you, I don't care how sweet you are. If I'm not satisfied with you, then I do not continue anything with you. Because the last thing I want to do is to, recognize that, you're a great woman. You're beautiful, but I'm just not attracted to you. Like, I don't see myself laying with you each night. Like, I can't get intimate with you, like, I'm sorry. No, because, we got into an argument about the big black women, right? BBW. And I was like, why do you call yourselves big black women? At the end of the day, you're a little juicy, but you're not, I don't know. Like, I hate that BBW, like big black women. Like, you're just some big black, like, I don't know. I just hate that terminology, right? But they typically they like to use that terminology. And so one of the women were like, so I would never be good enough for you. And I told her, I said, listen, at the end of the day, love, you may be an amazing person, but you're not my preference. I have to be attracted to you, right? Because I can sit up here and give you a chance like you want me to, but if I roll over in the middle of the night and I'm looking at you and I'm just like, no, like, this isn't what I want. I don't see myself with this person. Yeah, she's a sweetheart, but I'm just not physically, intimately drawn to this individual on the level that I would like to be. At the end of the day, you like what you like, right? And so if you see a red car and a blue car, but you pick the red one over the blue and they're identical cars, why? Oh, because it looks better in red. Red is your preference, So it's the same thing with human beings. Yeah, you got two people that are really cool, but one individual stands out a little bit more because that's your preference. I'm not going to knock you or make you feel bad about your preference at all. That's your truth. But we have to be okay with, like, letting that be known that, look, I do have a preference. I do like it like this. I do prefer this type of woman over that type of woman. And I tell people all the time, man, my preference is really open because I will date a midget. I may date a Amazon is 6'9". She's sexy. She's sexy, So, like, that's the whole thing. My whole thing is that I love the beauty in a woman and I love the confidence in a woman. I think a lot of women don't look as beautiful as they can because they're just not confident. They don't even carry themselves well. I remember telling my friend I dated what I call and this is a wrong terminology, a ugly, cute woman, to where this woman wasn't even that attractive. But when I tell you, she dressed so nice, hair done. I mean, she has so much confidence. To where this woman was just cute to me, how she handled herself. I just loved how so therefore I had something that was strong enough for me to be attracted to enough to where I felt like, yeah, I can see myself with this person. But if that woman lacked the confidence, there's no way I would have ever dated her, because I would have just been like, no, I'm sorry. I can't. Doesn't want to take it there. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
Okay, so even like, so through, when people are approaching people anyway, they're approaching them on their looks, whereas you're saying that men don't necessarily look at women just for their looks anyway. So when you're going to approach someone through social media, for instance, you're not really putting much of your personality across in terms of what you do on a day-to-day basis. So it's still not attractive anyway, because you're not showing that you've got confidence. You're not showing that you're somebody with substance. You're not showing that you're doing anything with your life.
But you never know that though. You never know that though. You got to think about it. There's men who dress in business suits that drive Bentleys that sell dope. That's not substance in life. So even in real life, you are. So I always use this phrase: attraction is what caught my attention, but who you are is what will keep my attention.
That's a good one.
Right? So you may, so you may be beautiful and get my attention, but that doesn't mean that you'll keep it. So regardless if it's in real life or on Tinder or Facebook or whatever, you got to realize that when we first see somebody, the attraction is what got us to notice them, unless we heard them first, which is rare. So like you've never met me. There's a lot of people that have heard me, but they've never met me though. So okay, yeah, so maybe my intellect is totally different because they got an opportunity to listen to me versus just really pay attention like they were listening to me. But what's the odds of that? How many men do what I do, is in a position that I'm in? There's not a whole lot, So typically when we see a woman, we see the beauty in you first. That's what we go off of. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Now let me really get to know her and see if she's really worth continuing to pursue something with, or if she's really psycho, or if she's just ratchet, or if she's crazy. Let's leave her over there and let her do her thing. And it's the same thing with men. Okay, you got a very attractive male, but is he a male hoe? Does he have drama? I mean, like, what does he do? But again, we never going to be able to know the substance of a person by typically meeting them or shaking their hand. It's not going to happen. You still have to interact with that person to determine who they are.
Yeah. Wow. Can
you hear me? It's late now, guys. We're gonna have to cut this off, aren't we?
You said what?
Can you hear me? We're gonna have to cut it off.
It's going in and out, kind of.
Can you hear me? You can hear me now. I was like, we're gonna have to end it because it's late now. We're gonna overlap. Let's finish at 9:30, and it's like 10 o'clock. So we're gonna have to leave the blab because I'm driving now and the reception's going. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna cut it off and we can book a date to finish the conversation. Can you hear me?
All right then. Thank you.
Hey, I'll call you in a few minutes, all right?
Is that me or Sereena?
Sereena. You never told me either, Alicia, what you wanted to talk to me about. You forgot.
I forgot. My life's busy. I forgot. Sorry.
I'm like, all right. So listen, I'll reach out to you guys. All right, just hit me.